Hello and welcome to Designed by Hannah Oxberry. Yes, we have got the most fantastic feature design for you to recreate for yourself. Hannah is joining us today. Hello, Hannah.
Hello, Vicky.
And you're going to take us step by step to create this fantastic feature.
I am indeed, yes.
It's a bringing together of two of our very, very popular elements here at Jewellery Maker. We're bringing together polymer clay and jewel enamel.
Yeah, with some really fantastic results.
Extraordinary. I think the moment you see this, I think for a lot of people go, oh my goodness me, this is just the start. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is the potential where you see and then you go, oh, this is going to roll into a really big snowball and then a snowman. And it's got that opportunity. I mean, part of me sees the things like a stained glass window, creating something really dramatic.
Absolutely.
But we're starting with this feature design, and you're going to take us step by step to how to get started and how to take us all the way through to end results.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the lovely thing about jewel enamel is that it's very quick.
It's very, very quick. It's very, very rewarding, and as you can see, you get really vibrant colours from it as well.
And then with the polymer clay, well, I think it's probably one of those where anybody can do it,
Absolutely.
Genuinely anyone.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing you can get everyone involved with, and you can really hone this design to make it your own as well.
So let's get to it in terms of what do you need? Well, you need all of this. Polymer clay tools, that includes the roller, the extruder, and 5 lots of 5 cutters. So that means in total, you are getting yourself 25 cutters for this offer. So what are you getting in terms of tools? Well, I can guarantee you quality. I know for a lot of people, when you start to look at clay rollers, or as they're sometimes known as pasta machines, you could be looking at paying over £40 at least for this type of tool elsewhere. Here we're offering you our quality, that's Jewellery Maker quality, with incredible resulting opportunity, as Hannah will display. The extruder, well, this is all about getting different shapes, different dynamics to your jewellery making. I know for many of our jewellery makers, this is the tool that you can't underestimate. Finally, you're getting 25 cutters. That includes your teardrops, your flowers, your stars, hearts, and finally, the perfect rounds. That's 25 in total. 25 in total for one price tag, not just for the cutters, but of course, let's not forget, you're getting the extruder and the clay roller for one price tag. One bundle, and all for just £24.95. £24.95. Now I can say to you, I did a little bit of research before I did this section, and I know that you will be looking at way more than that for just clay rollers elsewhere. Literally limited to finding anywhere else that can compete to our clay roller. You're also getting your extruder and you're also getting your cutters all for one price. Now, if you've got the tools, you also need the ingredients of polymer clay. So let's give you those polymer clay bundles. Now you're going to get the white block and you're going to get the black. We're going to give you them as separate entities because I know for a lot of people, you might already have one, you might already have the other. So let's give you separate opportunities. Separate opportunities, and let's bring it together. Let's bring them together into one bundle. You're going to get them all. Now I know the price tag for one individually, so we should be taking you over £30 easily on this. Easily on this. How about we do both of them for £26.95? £26.95 for both of them. You might already have some black, you might already have some white, but the good news is that you're never going to have too much of a black and white polymer clay. It's probably the foundations of many of the polymer clay creations that you may have already seen that we've put to here at Jewellery Maker. And this is now, the design by Hannah is literally just taking one of those essential ingredients of polymer clay and extending it. So your actual, the silhouette, the creation of the shape itself is all polymer clay.
It is, that's correct, yeah. And you can then expand on that technique, as I will show you in a moment, and create all different shapes and all different frames in which to pour your jewel enamel.
And in terms of the black and the white, you are somebody who works with polymer clay on a regular basis.
Yes, absolutely.
These really are the essentials.
They're invaluable. They are what you would use in every single polymer clay design. The black is a great basis and the white is perfect for tone work. So if you want to tone down any colours and extend your smaller blocks of polymer clay, it's brilliant for that.
Okay, well, how about we see exactly how we work it? How do we start our creation of this fantastic feature design? I'm going to pick it up because we want to take it over and see. Now, we've done a poppy here.
Yeah, we have done a poppy.
When I say we, you. I was going to take the credit for it, but I won't. You've created a poppy, but of course, floral choices, colour choices are endless, really.
Absolutely.
Especially with enamel, where there's so much
colour choice. Yeah. In this example, we're going to show how to do a violet, but I'm going to use the same frame as what I have done for the poppy design.
Perfect.
Basically, what we have to do to start is obviously condition your clay. Now, I'm not going to sort of show you pouring it through the rolling machine or anything, because that is quite straightforward. I've got my clay sheet nice and flat, ready to go, and what I'm going to do is section it off so I can put it into my extruder to create the material I need to create the frame. Okay. So we simply cut lots and lots of these circles using the cutters that are in the bundle from earlier.
Yes. So that's the smaller. Is that
the smallest size in the cutter pack? Yeah.
Okay.
And again, we just keep going through. You need quite a few. I'd say probably about 20-ish little circles to create enough clay through the extruder. Okay. And don't waste any of your excess. Peel that off, roll it back into a sausage, and again back through the pasta machine, and just continue to cut. And that way you're not wasting anything.
Perfect.
So I'll just do a few more.
So you're saying around about 20 you'll need for this frame?
Around about 20, yeah, for this frame. Obviously, if you're doing a smaller frame, you don't need to use as many. And although it may look like you're not going to have enough to make a whole frame, because you're putting it through the extruder, it sort of pulls and shapes the clay. Right.
Okay, so you're putting it through one more time.
One more time.
And what grade have you used on the roller?
We're using a setting of number 1 on the roller. Okay. Just so it's thick enough. You don't need to be too precious about this stage, because you're just simply creating the circles to put into the extruder machine. You see, I'm just simply picking them up. I'm not being too careful about it, because it will all get straightened out, so to speak, through the extruder machine. And it's just creating that filler, that little like cylindrical shape that will then sit inside your extruder. So we'll pick these little circles up.
They're like backgammon shapes, aren't they?
They do really look like backgammon, especially against the white.
I never play that game. My husband always wins me. Always. I don't think I've ever won backgammon in my life. So thanks for that happy memory.
That's the one. There we go. Nearly there with them.
So you've got probably about, what, nearly 2 inches, 2.5, 3 inches?
About that, about that. So we just squish it back into shape a little bit. And what I've done is the extruder, you need to make sure the plunger is all the way down in the extruder so you can fit your polymer clay inside. Okay. Take a little bit of squishing. Squish that in. And what we're using in your extruder pack, you get lots and lots of metal disc shapes. So the one we're using, I think it's about a 3mm to 4mm hole, little aperture. Now they do come smaller, but because you need to make a frame that is going to support itself, I wouldn't recommend using anything smaller than this size. Yeah. That screws on to the extruder. And I have to apologise about the noise. Mine is a bit squeaky. I don't think I've found any one of the extruders yet that doesn't have a bit of a squeak to it. We're simply, there we go, nice and squeaky. And then we just push. And what you're going to get is a nice sort of long string, if you like, of black polymer clay. It's a bit noisy.
Can I just say no animals were harmed in the making of this polymer clay? Because it does sound like it, doesn't it?
It does, rather. Oh, nearly there. You see, it's getting a little bit tougher as you get towards the end to push all the polymer clay through. It's just sort of the pressure of all the polymer clay inside the tube. There we are, that's probably enough. You don't want to push the plunger all the way down to the top of the polymer clay. So I always leave about about 1/2 inch at the top. If you push it too far, you do run the risk of the plunger coming out, and then it sort of creates a vacuum. It makes it very, very difficult to get your sort of extruder working again.
Okay.
But we're just using our blade, cut down, and we're left with a nice long string of polymer clay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to wipe down my board, get rid of the coin marks there. And what we're literally doing is we're just going to create the outline frame. So here I've made like a flower design, and it is just freehand. You can obviously use a template if you want to draw out a design first and literally carry on using that.
And like you could print
you can print something off the internet. Yeah. If you go onto any website, as long as you mark the line so it's nice and obvious for you to follow, you can do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with a little edge there, and the idea is to go around and try and create as much structure as possible. So always fold the clay back on itself and pinch to create edges that make it more harder wearing. So it's like falling in on itself and creating a more of a dome idea. It doesn't really matter what the shape is, but you go through sort of making the outline of petals.
And also one presumes that this is freehand, so if it doesn't look right to you, you can then start all over again. There's no right and wrong, but if it doesn't feel right, then you can
for instance there, I'd want that sort of a bit longer. So we're just pulling that round, and as it meets the other side, cutting it down and curving and forming. Now obviously you can take a lot longer at home doing this to get your shapes right. Just where I'm joining, I'm just rolling it gently, pushing it together so there is no obvious join. Just tweak those so it looks more flower-like. There we go. So I'm happy with that shape. I can see that I'm going to be able to fill that nicely with jewel enamel. It's going to give me a really nice look. So what I would do before baking, taking a cocktail stick, you want to create 2 little holes either side at the right sort of similar level to which you attach your chain or your beaded thread or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
To do that, you have to gently push cocktail stick in and make a little hole. Now you see I'm holding the polymer clay either side because I don't want to disturb the shape that I have just made. Do that on both sides. And there we go, that's ready to go in the oven, just as it is. That's all finished. If you've got long nails like me, you do find you mark the clay a little bit more. So if you've got like any nail marks in it, you can just roll the clay and just neaten it all up.
How would you put that in on the slate itself?
It goes straight into the oven on the tile. It depends on your oven because all ovens do cook at different temperatures. But this, I mean, my oven, for example, I would cook this for 15 minutes at 120.
Okay.
I'd then take it out of the oven, leave it to fully cool, and then I'd put it back in at 120 for 15 more minutes. And that just gives it that extra, extra hardening.
Okay, so this is our first layer. That's the polymer clay section. Yep. And now we're going to move into the jewel enamel.
We are going to move
where we're going to add the colour, where we're going to add the detail, where you've got that wow factor. I mean, one of the nicest things about jewel enamel, I think it has a zing about it. So if you don't have jewel enamel, then we need to give you the chance to own it. We do have some special deals for you within this section. So I'm just going to give you that chance to get, because you might already have polymer clay, but if you don't have the jewel enamel, then we do want to give you the chance to be able to create this exact look. So by doing so, we need to give you the pot. Now the melting pot is, well, it's one of those tools that you can't have jewel enamel without the pot, really. You know, it's designed for purpose, it's there, and you can put the likes of polymer clay within it. It does have a similar principle in terms of heating, although you'd have to be careful with that. Designed for purpose to melt your enamel to get the perfect results. If I just turn it round, it'll give you a step-by-step on how simple it is and how effective. It is ergonomically designed, so you do have the handles sitting either side as well. Pour the powder in, and as you can see, there's a gauge, etc., that'll just keep you right into terms of making sure that you get the right results. So melting and heating, you can see there, you can dip and coat within this melting pot, and also you can pour as well. So very, very simple techniques to get the professional finish that Hannah's going to lead you through within this design by. Now the melting pot is just £38.95. The melting pot is, well, it is what it is. It does what it needs to do, and actually it could do so much more. But for now, we're offering you this fantastic melt pot to do a very specific job, and that's for your jewel enamel. Comes with a lid so that you can, you know, make sure that you're looking after everything, every part of your jewellery making, and it comes with a spatula as well. I'll just show you there. You can see that you have got a range of heating temperature within the gauge, so you can select which one. This is a fantastic pot. If you haven't already got started with jewel enamel, we do have a get started little section. You can download it on our website, access it there. So if you do want to know more about jewel enamel, then there certainly is that freedom to do so at www.jewellerymaker.com. £38.95 for the melting pot, but then you also need the enamel itself. It comes in powder form, and as you can see here, we've got you a bumper pack of some of the essentials. You have got a combination of your aquamarine, your diamond clear, your purple sapphire, your light silver, and your fire opal. Those colours, let me turn them around so you can see. They are so powerful. They are so fantastic. I know for a lot of people, this is a one that very much becomes a hot contender to be the essential. Diamond clear, it means that you can set things like photographs in the base of your bails and your bezels, and then once you've set them, you can then pour over the diamond clear, and you get this fantastic result. So if you want to create something quite with a very sentimental result, you could do that with the diamond clear, which I'm sure Hannah, we could actually do in a similar principle with the polymer clay.
Absolutely.
You know, framing sentimental mementos and things within the polymer clay, and then adding in the diamond clear. But this is all about creating one specific result, and that's the floral result.
Yep.
This is the five pack bundle that we have for you. You're getting all 5 for £17.95. And if you're wondering how far these go, gosh.
Very far, very far. I mean, I always use the diamond clear as the base, so then I'm not using as much of the colour. It sort of tweaks the colour a little bit, makes it a little bit more subtle, but goodness me, you get so much use out of just one pot.
Oh, that's interesting. And actually, in principle, I know from my behalf, I remember seeing 3 pots being used, and you can get around about 20 to 30 pendants out of 3 pots without the diamond clear. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm talking classic size pendants, you know, your decent feature piece pendants. You could achieve that with just 3. So, you know, you've got 5 here, so it could take you a long, long way, not just for designs like Hannah's leading you through today. £17.95 is all you pay for that fantastic 5 pack. And Hannah, you're actually going to use some of these colours now?
I am, yeah. I'm going to demo with these colours so you can see the sort of results from them.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've got your melting pot.
I have. It's all ready. It's all heated up. Now, obviously, we do have to say it does get incredibly hot, so keep your fingers away from the pot, as does the jewel enamel itself. So you'll see I've already got some jewel enamel in here. That was from my practices last night, and it's fine. You know, I've heated it up again. There's never any wastage with it.
That's what I love about jewel enamel.
Never any wastage.
I can't say enough how much I love it. Can I just pull this a little bit closer in so we can see?
We're going to pick that up. There we go.
Perfect, thank you.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do, as I say, I'm going to pour diamond clear in. Nice, generous helping of diamond clear. And also lots and lots and lots of this lovely, it's called pink sapphire colour, and you see that melting instantly.
And that's the amazing thing about this, is it is instant reward.
It is. It's a sort of, I love work where you can see things happening.
Yeah.
I think it's really good fun.
I was never good at science when I had to wait. I was always good when the science was like, put it in and it was
Yeah.
That worked for me.
So that's just melting, that is just melting through. Obviously we could put the lid on and that would happen a lot quicker, but I do like to just keep an eye on it and make sure that it's, you know, the sort of texture that I want. The heating element itself is around this sort of area, so that's where you're going to get the fastest response to melting there.
And it's happening straight away, isn't it?
That's the
amazing thing. And in terms of cooling, that's the other thing, for those of you who haven't seen jewel enamel before, in terms of cooling and final results, instant is the answer. I mean, absolutely instant. Within seconds of it going on, it starts to cool, and within a couple of minutes, you've got a hardened enamel.
You have, and that's why you'll see just to the side of me here, I have my pots ready. It's best when you're working with your enamel just to ready the area that you're working in. If you're adding things, because it cools so quickly, you need to have everything on hand if you want to add designs to it.
Okay, that's fair.
I think we're probably almost ready to pour there. Don't worry if you don't pour enough the first time. You'll see we can remedy that on the second stage. But that's ready to go. See, that's all nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to push it up to the top, and that just means as it's pouring, it's not cooling as quickly. Get my hands in the way. And we just literally pour from the centre, straight onto your Teflon mat, straight into the frame, and just moving around. You see it's pouring nicely. It's starting to slow, which is what we want to get into the areas which are a little bit more awkward to get in. There we go. And as you leave the design, always leave from the centre, making sure you've filled all the parts. And if you leave from the centre, you don't get any overlap, sorry, with my arm in the way, you don't get any overlap with the, and what I'm doing here, is because it's cooling, you can see I'm just adding the colours that I need. So I'm putting orange in the centre, surrounded by blue, and then I'm just going to add some silver to the edges. Now the reason you want to do that quite quickly is obviously the jewel enamel is cooling and you need it to have almost like a solid base in which it's almost set nicely. I'll put some more blue in there because that's already melted. Okay. So, there we go, we're good to go. Now that's caused the bottom level of the jewel enamel just to sit in place. You can already feel the heat coming off it, so you know it's cooling nicely. And you might look at it and think, okay, we're a bit of a mess at the moment. How do we get to the stage where it's a nice sort of glowing response from the colours? So, cocktail stick in hand. It's probably best to move the powders away before I turn these on and send them flying everywhere, which I have done on several occasions. We want to start on a low heat. Now what we're going to do is just melt these little jewel enamel crystals into place. But again, because it happens so quickly, you want to have your cocktail stick ready to draw and shape. Okay. Now we start, don't sort of blow it straight onto. We need to, introduce the heat slowly. So I've turned it onto a low heat. I'm just going to gently, don't worry if you start seeing it sort of flying away, it will do that because it's a powder. But if you're just warming the area around the shape, you're going to start seeing the jewel enamel itself starting to melt. Now, you will lose quite a lot, which is why I've put so much on the piece already. And you just want to hopefully, it doesn't go everywhere, start melting the jewel enamel from the side. Now, it does take a little while. You have to be patient with this. Don't go straight in and introduce it to the very top because you will just blow the powders everywhere. But if you can see, just here, the jewel enamel on the surface is starting to melt and it's almost like bubbling. And as it starts to bubble, you can move the heat over it and start drawing everything into place. And as that heat spreads, the jewel enamel itself will find its own level.
So fantastic.
It also gives it a really nice high shine finish as well. So I'm going to concentrate on this area. And because it's a flower, we just want to draw the melting jewel enamel across each other to create almost like a stamen effect. As I say, don't worry too much. I know it does look a bit of a mess, but it will come together in the end.
It's the thing about jewellery making, often is the case you need to have that mess before it then goes to that perfect, isn't it?
Because you're reintroducing a much more fluid state to the jewel enamel, it's actually going to find its own level within the frame. So you see here we've got sort of areas which are missing, so I can get my cocktail stick in there. Yes. But once I've heated the jewel enamel again, from the surface you see the silver's going now as well. Just moving in and filling up that gap. Exactly. Now it just takes a little bit of time.
And I'm interested that the heat that you're applying there, does that affect at all the polymer clay?
The polymer clay will be soft, so it's really key to remember not to move it until it's fully cooled. Once you've taken the heat away. And there we go. It's just sort of melting through. I've added some silver to the tops to define these areas as well. And if you have an area such as this, where the jewel enamel has leaked over the edge, you can just heat it and just push it, make it really thin. And once it's cooled, you'll be able to simply remove that jewel enamel from that area as well.
just while Hannah's obviously just finishing that off, you can see that she's using the heat gun, and she also has the heat mat, and that's two things that we do have available for you right now. As you can see, the heat mat, nice size, so that you know that whatever you're doing and whatever you're creating, you're going to protect your surfaces. We always say don't just use this, perhaps use another table mat or anything like that, just to add that final protection for your table, etc., your surface. There's your heat mat, but then also you're going to get the gun as well. So you're going to get that heat gun. You can see how Hannah's using that. You see that's on the bottom of the screen right now. That's coming in at £22.95. That's £22.95. So that's your combination. The final thing that I just want to highlight as well is that you also have got the colours that Hannah's created this fantastic poppy design from, right here in this bundle. So the actual colours that Hannah's used within this look is being created by this combination. So this is with the poppy reds, you're getting the citrine, you've got the jet black, your peridot, and you've also again got that diamond clear. Same price as last time, same price, just £17.95 for all 5. As I say, it's not just about creating one piece of jewellery. This is just the inspiration, this is the idea, but then I'm sure you can create some amazing stained glass windows, some beautiful, you can imagine some very ornate detailed jewellery coming.
I've seen Debbie, for instance, created one at the NEC last year, which was a lovely stylised heart, and just using one colour of jewel enamel looks incredible because you've got these rich tonal fluidity to it, which really, I mean, it looks still molten even when it's dry, so
that's the
very,
exciting
very pretty
thing. So we're now at that point. Oh,
yeah,
that's because
it looks a bit mad, but yeah, there you go. You've got almost, obviously, if you're at home, you can take a lot longer just drawing the colours through to make it much more floral-like, and obviously you could fill in the bottom here with some of the green or with some of the silver to give it a really different look. It's going to take a little while to cool because it's quite a deep piece. Once it is fully cooled, I would give it probably about 10-15 minutes just to make sure that it's set.
And is that long enough for the polymer clay as well?
Yeah, that should be long enough. You can just test it with your fingers by, you know, if it doesn't mark it, at the moment it's still marking it, so we know it's not ready to be lifted from the sheet. Once you're ready to lift it, use one of the knives from the polymer clay starter kit, and literally just slip it under and lift, and it will come away. If you have any edges where the jewel enamel's leaked over, you can then just snip those off with your snips, or just file those off with needle files. And of course, not forgetting, we added our little holes into the polymer clay before we baked the frame, from which you can insert some jump rings and hang your chain.
Just like that.
Really, really simple technique, but it's very, very effective.
And a work of art. I mean, it really feels like you're bringing together jewellery making and artwork in some ways. You know, it feels very, very much about that delivering of colour and texture and dynamic.
And I think it's fun because each piece is going to be completely unique. There's no way you can recreate that frame exactly the same each time, and there's absolutely no way you can recreate those colours in the jewel enamel each time as well.
And also, you know, people could commission, you know, I've got a colour outfit that I would like you to commission, you know, I could commission a piece of jewellery, you know, whether it's large or small. I can imagine that being a very exciting aspect. And if you were selling your jewellery, another part about that would be that you could do on-the-spot jewellery if you had all of these facilities.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
you
the sort of thing, if you're selling, it's exciting. If someone can see you using things and making things at your stand, it is going to draw attention. But it's the sort of thing, you know, people will look at it and think, oh wow, you know, where did you get that? And you have the thrill of saying, actually, I made that.
Exactly, and it is going to be a one-off, it is going to be a masterpiece. Now, your pots, as I say, £17.95, and an opportunity, of course, the melting pot at £38.95. If you haven't explored jewel enamel, I'm sure we've probably already wetted your whistle. So if you are interested, as I say, we do have our Get Started to Jewel Enamel on our website at www.jewelrymaker.com. If you haven't already picked up the phone to create this fantastic look with all of the ingredients, the number's at the bottom of the screen there, 0800 644 655, or you can join us on our website, www.jewelrymaker.com. I think that this is just the start.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd love to see your Wall of Fame entries with these, putting your own personal stamp on this design. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can create with it.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of unleashing of wow factor with the colours that you can get from the enamel, with the shapes you can create with polymer clay. It's going to be a rewarding look, that's for sure. We can't wait to see what you come up with, but that was our inspiration. That was designed by Hannah Oxberry.
Thank you.